another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. I'm Ryan.
I am Josh.
And we are here back again. You are Josh.
That's another question mark.
I'm Josh.
I'm Josh.
We're back. We're here. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a while.
But, you know, we're here with what we promised. It's a 2-for-1.
Oh, yeah, we're back to doing 2 movies a night.
What up, haters? No.
Don't.
Just no.
Don't do that.
But, dude, sometimes I gotta let the haters...
No, you don't.
Sometimes you gotta let the haters know.
Right, we don't have haters. I don't even think we have lovers.
Speak for yourself. Yes, we're back. This is episode 41. It's a momentous occasion. I'm keeping that up. It's a big one. It's a really big one.
It's the big one.
What everybody's been waiting for.
Episode 41.
Episode 41. It's always the best episode of anything ever. Quote me on that.
I'm going to go through and look at all the episode 41s of everything.
Of anything. Movies, books.
I said of all episode 41s, and for some odd reason, I just started hearing some 41 in my head. I don't want to waste my time.
Television shows. I don't know.
Chapters in books.
Yeah. Anything, yeah. Anyway, so...
I could go on and on.
Yeah. You do the work.
Okay.
So we're here to talk about Deadpool 2 and Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yes, tonight we're talking about one movie that is kind of disappointing and another movie that is a movie.
It is a movie.
It is
for sure.
Definitely that.
So I think we should just start with Deadpool 2.
Should we start in chronological order?
I think we should.
Okay.
So last week, we saw Deadpool 2.
Last week on the Mighty Movie Pod.
And we came into the studio to record an episode.
Yes.
And then we didn't.
No.
Because we didn't want to put out a 15-minute episode.
Because there's not much to talk about.
So instead,
did you see Deadpool? You're gonna like Deadpool 2.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe.
Maybe. Tell me what you thought about Deadpool 2.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I enjoyed the first Deadpool because it was a great, ironic skewing of the genre.
Yeah.
I thought, the humor, a little crass, but that's Deadpool. So, I expected it to be what it was, and it was lightning in a bottle. It was a great film. Great comedy. The first real comic superhero movie.
Yeah.
Based on a comic. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But since then we've got Thor Ragnarok, which is a much funnier film.
It's one of my favorites.
I love it.
It is my favorite, actually.
It's a great movie. But no, I really enjoyed the first Deadpool for those reasons. And the problem I had with this one is they decide to give Wade a serious, motivation.
Yeah.
The first one is a revenge flick, of course. You know, this one is also but they try to humanize him more.
In the first one, it's you understand his circumstance, but at the same time, he's joking through it.
Oh yeah, and in this one, you're supposed to take him seriously.
A little bit serious, yeah.
And he's still doing all his stuff, and it doesn't balance out tonally.
I'm going to put it this way. Coming out of the theater of the first movie, I was like, that was all right. I had a good laugh.
Yeah.
Then I, talked about it some more, and, I kept thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking of scenes I liked and thinking about things I didn't like, and there was I couldn't think of anything, to be honest. Watched it again. Funniest fucking thing I ever saw in my life.
Yeah. I was the same way, because the first time through, I was kind of like, it was pretty funny. I liked it. It was okay. Yeah. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, I really enjoyed that.
This movie,
no,
I have not thought about since we left the theater and talked about it for a little bit of time we did.
I think, there's not much to talk about.
I don't know. I wouldn't say anything was very memorable.
No.
There was a lot of squandered potential.
Yes, yeah.
It has some bad pacing issues, which the first one did not.
I enjoy the kid that played Ricky Baker a lot in the other one that we've reviewed, Hunt for the Wilder People. We both loved.
Taika Waititi's best movie.
Oh, yeah. And in this one, he's supposed to be more serious, and I don't know, maybe he needs some more time. But because he doesn't quite hit it. His comedic bits that he does are hysterical. I think he's a great comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he has the chops yet to try to play the character he was supposed to be, because he was just flat. He wasn't irritating as a teenager. So he didn't play that, oh, yeah, you know, I wasn't like, you damn kids or anything like that. I was just kind of like, oh, no, it's you again. You know?
Yeah.
Here we go.
So the problem with this movie is they had a lot of ideas and then didn't do them.
No, and they did, but they didn't do them.
Here's the thing: he's in a bad place. I guess we'll avoid spoilers, even though it doesn't. It literally doesn't matter, and that's a spoiler.
It actually really
that's
doesn't.
A spoiler in itself, kind of.
Thanks for pointing that out. I forgot that it literally doesn't matter at all.
The whole plot of the movie is completely inconsequential.
It gets entirely reversed.
Yeah. So the problem is he's in a bad place, and he goes to what little friends he has, quote unquote.
Well, they come to him.
And it's like, okay. He's gonna try to be an X-Man. He's gonna try to go down a different road because he doesn't know what that means, because he hears it and he doesn't know what that means. So he's like, I'm gonna try to be an X-Man. There was a little bit of good comedy from this, but instead of having a montage of him trying to make it work, they do one thing and he decides to fuck it and immediately gets thrown in the icebox.
Yeah.
There was no, like, you fucked up, but we still have faith in you. Nope. They gave him one chance, he's fucked it up, and then that was the end of that story.
On a comic nerd level with that, I'm trying to figure out if the icebox was because they couldn't use the fridge.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the fridge is for mutants exclusively or if it's for just superpowered beings.
Yeah. And there's also weird, like, CinemaSin style want to nitpick the weirdness of the anti-mutant collar that I don't really want to get into.
Oh, the dampeners?
Yeah. Because it's stupid and a plot contrivance.
Well, dude, it's in the comics.
Here's the problem, especially in this movie, is they're like, hey, we're going to take away your mutant powers. And I'm just like, okay, so why is it like a physical thing? And also, so there's a cure, quote unquote, for mutants, but
that doesn't exist anymore.
I know, but that's what this does. Because here's the thing: it's not like it just stops them from like shooting laser beams out of their face or like anything that could be harmful. It literally like shuts down their mutant genes.
Yeah.
So if you were to put one on Beast, would he turn back into a regular person?
Yes. Because
it's like, oh, now he's just dying of cancer again because his healing thing isn't constantly fighting off the cancer. Which, if you know how cancer works, by the way, like once the healing got rid of all those cells, you just wouldn't have cancer again.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't just stop cancer.
I thought it was it was probably... And I know it's a nitpick, and it's like it's completely
Go
separate
ahead.
from what's wrong with the film. It was the thing that like pissed me off the most.
Really,
I thought it was so dumb, and I'm just like people are mad about like the fuel and like the distance in The Last Jedi being a plot contrivance.
Oh yeah,
I found this way more frustrating than that.
Well, don't ever read an X-Men comic then, because they're all over the place. Everybody's got a dampener that they've got in their buildings, or they've got the collars that they put on somebody, or they've got like a little wrist cuff thing that they put on that they can switch on, and it dampens that guy's powers but not your powers.
Yeah. There was a second I actually thought about I lied. I thought about the movie today when I was like, oh, we're going to talk about that after we see Solo.
Yeah.
And I, for a second, couldn't remember who the bad guy was. And then I was like, oh yeah, Cable was in it.
Was Cable the bad guy?
I don't know.
Because it's like, the kid's the bad guy. No, Cable's the bad guy. No, the kid's the bad guy. No, this guy's the bad guy. Nah, Cable's kind of the bad guy. Oh, but he's now a good guy, so...
It had sequel...
Cable is terrible.
It wasn't great.
Cable was... I say that loving Cable. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I will say that, like, I think some comic fans might have an issue with was he's not Cable.
Mm-hmm.
He's just generic future action man, but that's kind of a funny joke because Cable is generic action man.
That's another thing. This movie, I think, gets away with a lot more because you don't know if it's a meta joke or not.
If it's taking the piss or if you're supposed to be,
or if it's incompetent.
The only thing that or if it's incompetent. The only thing that I will say that they were trying to do was, like I said, try to make Wade a person.
That's and that was there was no. They played that completely straight.
There's a lot of things that they do that were in Deadpool and like Uncanny X-Force and stuff that were within the comic, like him having a real problem with this kid that they're supposed to kill. That's right out of Uncanny X-Force. And I thought for a minute that when they introduced the kid, he was going to be the same kid that Uncanny X-Force took out, who is going to be Apocalypse at some point in time. The reincarnation of Apocalypse. Mm. They kill him, and everybody seems to be kind of struggling with it. Deadpool is angry that this happened. And it's a great story arc, and they didn't really nail it with this. It's like I was saying, they had good ideas, they just didn't do any of them really that well.
Yeah, the one thing that like I was excited to see, and it did not disappoint, and probably the best bit of humor that went down was putting together X-Force.
Yeah, I was annoyed by that at first, and I told you why. Because I was just like, he was the villain of X-Force, and now he's founding X-Force.
Yeah.
But then I saw who was on the team, and I laughed my ass off, because what happens in the movie is what happened in the comics to all of those characters.
Yeah, so that was very...
Except for the one they made up for the movie.
Yeah, it was very satisfying, and... It was just a good laugh. I mean,
it's
an
entirely forgettable comedy.
It has sequelitis out the ass, and it reminds. The first one was like you said, taking the piss out of the whole genre and everything, and then like. This one has sequelitis.
Tries to keep doing it, and
but it feels so much like a comic book movie of old.
Oh yeah, like it's very much a '90s comic.
Yeah, and so it just I think it failed while still not. It was like enjoyable to watch. Yeah. I'm not gonna run out and see it again.
No,
if somebody's like, I'm going to go check it out, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to tell them not to.
Oh, yeah. No, if you want to see it, go see it for sure. It's just, don't really expect much out of it. You won't be, like, I didn't go into it. I was hoping for a little bit from Cable. I wanted a little bit of beef from Cable. And there's a nice little comic callback to his character in recent years with the daughter and everything. I thought that was really nice. They do it differently, but... yeah, Cable just didn't deliver for me. That's probably the only thing that I got to say I went in with some expectations and was disappointed in, because I loved Cable so much. Cable was my era, you know?
Yeah.
And he just doesn't deliver. I wonder, though, I was talking to you about it after we saw the movie, and I wonder if they cut a bunch of TJ Miller scenes.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Ooh. Poppity. But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just Domino was really interesting. I know a lot of people are fired up because she's a black girl, and in the comic she's a pasty white girl and everything. And the only thing that I will say about that is they try to give her the Domino look by I believe giving her what was the name that the disease that Michael Jackson had?
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo, yeah. So, like, she's got a little bit of that around her eye, and she's got a little bit on her skin and stuff, and I feel like that was how they were like, oh, she, Domino.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a little, but, like, I thought she kind of stole the show. I really liked her a lot. Seeing her powers on camera in live action was really cool, because in the comics, it just looks like she's really good at flipping and shooting.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it was like, no, you could see every situation where she was like supposed to die, or this shouldn't have worked, and they did a great joke with her towards the end of the movie.
I was gonna say there's not a lot of comedy straight from Deadpool. There's meta shit, but he's not actually that funny.
No, not in this one. Not that time around. No, it was a lot more breaking the fourth wall and
And it wasn't, and it was kind of in a reiterative way, like we fucking get it with Green Lantern. We fucking get it.
Oh
with
my DC. God, Ryan, let it go. No, not you. You know, Ryan, Mr. Reynolds, please let it go. You know, like we don't. It's Green Lantern jokes are stale at this point. It's like making jokes about the Bush administration. Or something.
Another callback to X-Men Origins.
Yeah,
which was kind of okay, but still, I'm just like
I thought that joke was pretty funny.
No, it was really good. Yeah. But I'm just saying it's just yet again.
The one that they did early in the movie was pretty bad, but the one they did in the after credits thing was really funny. I thought that was great. But the joke that I thought was really funny was when he goes to the mansion and he's like, "No one's ever here," and he's spinning around.
We did good the first time. Couldn't they give us a fucking break?
Yeah, that was a good meta joke. And then like you see Beast come up with the other X-Men and he shuts the doors real quick But then, like, at the same time, I was like, those are all the kids. Mm-hmm. When is this movie set?
But that's like a meta joke in itself. Yeah. And it's like, because they made, like, is it going to be Patrick Stewart or fucking McAvoy? And it's like, it's McAvoy.
And then, like, a joke that I appreciate what they were doing was at the end of the movie. I know what they were trying to do because they made the joke earlier in the movie about Logan. It's just that you can't do that joke without it becoming annoying. Yeah. And it was... After a bit, I was just like, okay, come on, guys. The joke landed.
That's a fine line with those types of jokes. I'm somebody who likes them where you go way too long and it becomes funny again. Yeah. It's annoying to some people.
Yeah. See, and it didn't work for me. Where I was just like, all right, like I got it a while ago. It's not getting funny again. Stop. Please stop. And then, like, I did like that because they did a good job of realizing that it was getting annoying, and like again. Part and parcel with Deadpool. Is it incompetent? Is it just a bad written joke? Or is it just so on the nose that it's, you don't really know what's going on? They did a great job with Cable in that bit where he was just like, oh, God. He just like looks at his watch or something like that. That was great. But, that's pretty much all there is. The Juggernaut shows up.
Yeah, Juggernaut.
You get that fight you wanted from X-Men 3. It goes exactly how that fight should have gone. So, again, I got to praise their treatment of Colossus, aside from him being, the goody-goody goofball that he is in the movie. They do a good job with Colossus. Solid job every time. Yeah. The CGI is a little oof, but it's just because they don't have the budget that some of these other movies do.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're using ILM, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. Or Blur or any of those guys. Yeah. But, it was it's kind, like I said, kind of disappointing where you're just like...
Yeah, as much as you want it to be like a superhero a superhero sequel in the modern era, which is like, it could be fucking great. Unfortunately, it's more of a comedy sequel in the modern era.
Yeah, which was my biggest fear, that it was going to be a comedy sequel. And it is.
Where it's like,
It's I needed kind of a palate cleanser after Infinity War, and this didn't cleanse my palate. It just was kind of like, huh. Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
I'll go home and watch Mystery Men.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting more of the same, but like bigger budget. I don't know. Yeah. And instead they like actually tried to do something different with the overall story. Mm-hmm.
It's like they were. I wonder
might have been a poor choice.
I wonder if they were trying to make a joke out of trying to build a franchise. But Deadpool is a franchise.
A lot of that stuff they took seriously.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like where was that the joke, or were you really trying? So
I feel like with the first movie, you didn't have to overthink anything.
Exactly, and you get caught up trying to figure out the humor in this one, and it's very subversive and complex. It'll benefit from repeat viewings.
At the end of the day...
It's the Prometheus of the Fox Marvel films.
At the end of the day, it did, while not being as funny or as, like, I don't know, impactful as the first one. It did the same thing that the first one did for me, which like made the mutants more interesting, more than the X-Men films usually do.
No, that's one thing that I will praise it for too. Was I loved the way that they handled the world of X-Men without doing an X-Men movie.
So that was something I took from it as a positive of it, but the movie itself.
And they do a bit of that in this, but it doesn't feel like it's really so much a part of the world as it is a set piece.
Yeah.
So
it has that going for it. So I'm like, overall, yeah, go see it. Don't expect a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to say?
No. There's nothing. There's not a lot. We said it would be a 15-minute podcast if we talked about it. I think it's been about 20.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah. But overall, I'm not, I don't regret seeing it or anything.
No. I had a good time at the movie. It was just kind of like I walked out like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, shit. Well.
On to the main course.
You said it, brother. You said it. Well,
I'm going to let you take the lead on this one.
This will only be the third time we get to talk about Star Wars. The first one was Rogue One. We had a guest. It's not my favorite podcast we ever fucking made.
No, mine
I'm going to be real with you.
I was a little drunk.
The Last Jedi, don't regret it at all. I wish we would have. We were ambitious. We got that shit recorded like Thursday night.
Oh yeah, we did that at like 2 a.m.
That movie had a lot to unpack. I wish we would have let it sit. I probably would have been happier with it, but still love that podcast. This one, however, holy shit! I finally get to just go full Star Wars nerd and also talk about one of the strangest, worst movies I've ever seen.
And that's so good it's bad kind of way for him.
For me, let me tell you about this movie. Okay, first of all,
I'll get in deeper, but up front, for me, it was just bad. It was so bad, it was bad.
First of all, everybody knows the drama around this film.
Yeah.
No need to talk about that.
No.
Everybody thought it was a bad idea. Let me tell you, you're not wrong. But was it? Because what we got was so bizarre. We're in sequel era Disney Star Wars, and finally we have something that is like prequel era worthy of just nonstop dissecting
tomfoolery
and just befuddlement. So
this movie's waylaid by jackassery.
I had such a good time with this movie. Spoilers, by the way. It's weird to say.
Spoilers. Chewie doesn't die like he looks like in the trailers.
Yeah, Chewie did not die. There also that also was not a life death. They threw that out the window, which is good.
Yeah. I thought the life death was alright.
I don't know. And it's this movie. Josh, give me a short. I'm just gonna tell you, I
know. I gave you the lead on this, and you have just peed it down the drain.
Because, dude, I get all like, I gotta talk about Star Wars.
Millennium Falcon.
It's a bad motherfucker. See, but not in that way. And there were people in this movie that felt that way.
Oh, there were a lot of people that were super into it.
I'm
not the guy next to me on his Instagram the whole time.
No.
Or the girl in front of me messing with her Google Watch.
Yeah. I'm excited in like a stupid, finally, this isn't like some weird divisive saga installment. This is like a stupid prequel nobody wanted.
Yeah, you're going to get a very small minority that really love this movie, I think.
That they tried to throw in like shit to like make it matter.
Yeah.
They didn't do
when it didn't need to at all.
It didn't need to. And the characters that are in it are completely unnecessary. They could have just made any terrible.
They could have, and we were just talking about this. They could have made up characters, and it would have been fine. I actually think it would have been better because, like we were saying, you keep forgetting it's supposed to be Han Solo until Lando shows up, or he says one of his quote unquote signature lines like
Yes.
"Trust me," which is apparently one of his things, and I have a good feeling about this.
It's so
Jesus
so
Christ.
paper thin what makes Han Solo other than
If
Harrison
anything,
fucking Ford.
Yeah, you know, and that I was just going to say it's interesting because it shows how weak a character Han Solo really is.
Exactly. So that's why, like, so in my brain, like, I'm never putting together like this is supposed to be Han. I'm like, this is like some kid hanging out with Lando doing some shit. And
by the way, I love Han Solo, so saying he's a weak character is kind of sucky for me. But it's just he's not that strong. He survives purely on Harrison Ford's charisma.
Exactly. He's not like a weak character. He's not a franchise like pillar.
He's not Luke.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
he's not Luke. Like Luke had to meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
Han's
Star Wars is greater than the sum of its parts.
It's like when they tried to keep the Pirates franchise going with Jack Sparrow. He's just supposed to be the cool sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
The original Pirates movies are all about Will and Elizabeth.
Yeah,
not about Han, you know, or Jack.
That being said, I think a fun like scoundrel adventure movie is awesome.
Oh, it's a great idea. There's a very good book by Timothy Zahn that's called Scoundrels, and it's about, you know, and there's some great short stories about the smugglers and the bounty hunters and stuff, and Jabba's palace and all that stuff. Great stuff. The Solo Marvel miniseries was pretty decent. I liked it a lot. Yeah. This movie doesn't do any of that.
No. And it is...
It's really weird because the first half of the movie is utter nonsense, and then the last half of the movie is all fan service.
Yes. The last half, all fan service, cut that into half.
Yeah.
And it's two different types of fan service.
Well, and it's like I feel like we can't talk about Solo as if it's one movie because it's like 3 different adventures all jam-packed into one film, and none of it adheres. It doesn't stick together at all.
The first quarter of the film, you could have explored a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
And that could have been one movie.
Yeah, but you just get this breakneck pace just to get to, like, what I assumed was going to be the movie, and then that stops, and then another movie starts.
That's when it becomes real bad for me.
Yeah, like, see, that was when I lost interest, and it just never came back around.
That is bad, but you have to remember there are 2 little inklings in there that are so hilarious.
Oh, yeah, well, there's 2 bits that made me laugh out loud in a theater when no one else was laughing.
Yes.
Except for maybe you.
I went, which was probably way worse. Probably annoyed everybody.
They give Han Solo's name the Wolverine jacket treatment where it gets its own story.
Yeah, that was weird. I
laughed.
This discussion is going to make no sense to you if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Probably. Or maybe it'll be hilarious. I don't know.
I suggest you don't see it.
That is ridiculous. First of all...
Okay, fine.
First of all, implausible.
I suggest you don't see it in the theater.
Okay, that's fine.
Fine.
First of all, implausible. Because
don't rent it. Don't wait for it ever.
It's Star Wars and people are going to go see it.
Oh, of course.
But,
I'm a fucking fuddy-duddy.
But it's the movie's fault that this discussion is so weird.
Yeah.
So they did a good job.
They did a great job.
Sorry, they did a great job.
Fucking Ryan the shill here.
his which through dialogue they like backtrack on, but his like early teens or late teens
that's one thing that we were talking about. It is indefinable his age.
Yes. They did make him look younger at this point, but then he looks slightly older, and then at the end of the movie, I think you're supposed to think he's now Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but he's still acting like Like
he
he acts
hasn't
like
done
he's
anything.
he acts like he's even younger than he was when the movie starts.
He hasn't done anything.
No.
So there's a time jump, and then the whole plot of the movie happens in like a day and a half.
There's an indefinable time jump. Who knows how long he was working? Yeah, who knows how
So
long
he looked early. He looked younger before that time jump, and they did a good job.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Keira Knightley. Jesus Christ, her name is Kira.
Yeah, played by Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke.
Who is just,
she's
knocking out of the park.
She's not a very good actress. People, we don't have to reiterate that here. But her relationship to him in the beginning and throughout the film does have a bit of substance. It worked for me in the beginning because I'm just like, all right.
The part about that I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, dude. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just like, he's with his bitch.
Jesus.
It sucks on Corellia. Like, they have this plan. They're going to
Which
run
is
away.
weird, because everything I've
Jack
ever...
and Diane. You know how it is. Like, they're out
sucking on a chili dog.
Yeah, sucking on a chili dog.
The spacey freeze.
Yeah, it worked. Fucking, there was
You're not giving me enough credit for
I know. It was really good. There's no, like Imperial involvement.
Don't just dismiss my pun like that, you son of a bitch. Don't placate me.
It let you know that he cared about something, and what he was doing was more than I'm gonna be a fucking ace pilot.
It was so everything was so poorly written though. Him caring about things and him. I'm an ace pilot. He flies once and does a terrible job.
Oh no, he got kicked out of the flight academy.
For having his own mind.
We don't see him in the flight academy. We see him in this reshoot war scene. But it couldn't have been a reshoot because that's how he meets Chewie. It's weird.
I know. No. I'm not talking about the whole thing. Yeah. Just that combat part seemed like it was shot on a very dark, very small soundstage, and they were just like, we have to do something to lead into that.
Yeah.
Quickly
well, I was gonna say there was a lot of. The lighting was different later on. Yeah.
It goes from being really murky to being really bright. It goes from Rogue One.
I think he may have just been a fuckhead. In the original script, he may have just been a fuckhead the whole time. Yeah. And I think this was supposed to make us think this is why he wants to leave. It's really bad. Yeah. Oh, look at all these explosions. Being in the army sucks. I think he was just kind of a little bit of a shithead.
One of the things that they did for world building there that I enjoyed. Some of the world building in this I liked. I liked that there were stormtroopers and then there were the cannon fodder guys, and it made you think that oh shit, maybe the stormtroopers are supposed to be the cream of the crop. You know, they just can't shoot.
There was a meta joke at one point that I liked. Where he's just He's they're not going to send out a bunch of TIE fighters just to shoot down this one freighter. Yeah. And I'm just it's funny because that makes sense, and they do it all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe that made the final cut.
Yeah.
Where they're actively kind of poking fun at the idea of the Empire just wasting resources left and right. Well, especially when the main crux of this movie was a
fuel
source. This movie is so ridiculous. I love it.
So bad.
Love it.
I hate this movie.
It's so
I didn't
bad.
even hate this movie. It was so mediocre to me that I didn't even care.
Oh, dude.
And
mediocre?
Yes.
Rogue One is mediocre.
Rogue One is a fucking terrible movie, dude.
Rogue One is mediocre.
Whatever, dude.
This is straight garbage. This is so good. You need to see it. I want you to see what I see in this movie. Rogue One is fucking just we're making Star Wars again. You remember this? You see this? We don't want to have we can't make new characters. That would be ridiculous. We made 2. That's all we got. Rey, Kylo Ren. That's all we can do. Hux, and he just plays whatever we need him to do.
We'll put names on people and put them in a movie.
Yeah, fucking that shit is just it's competent. The plot makes sense and fucking shit happens, but it's boring and mediocre, and that's the worst part about it.
See, but like I said. Once the second quarter of this movie started, it hits that Rogue One for me, where I was just I don't care anymore.
Second quarter? It's only a quarter. Dude, I completely disagree. It turns into bad like last quarter of the movie, and it's too long. It's only 2 hours long, and it's too long.
Yeah, this should have been an 84-minute movie.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm always okay with that. No, because then they go back to taking it seriously, and you're like, holy shit. How much longer am I going to have to watch this fucking movie? We get it.
And then they throw another plotline in, and another plotline in.
No, I know.
Another plotline in. And I lost interest after the train heist.
Dude, I think your time is all off here. 3/4 of the movie, they're only doing one thing. So until they start adding plot lines, it's not till the last.
You know what's funny, dude, is like you could be right, and like it was it just felt so long to me that I think there's
dude, because I heard you sighing over there. I'm like, they've only been doing this for 10 minutes, man.
Oh my god!
But it feels dumb because they just finished up what 85% of the movie was. Weird. So. I will tell you the fan servicey things in this movie. Let's just talk about them. They have the dice. They have the dice.
The dice are super important.
The concept of the movie in itself is fan service. So I'm talking about like direct fan service.
So all of the movie.
So I'm talking about all of the movie. About fucking I've got a good feeling about this. I'm talking about fucking. I'm talking about
the disassembly of his pistol.
The Kessel Run. I'm talking about him getting his pistol and looking at it and being like, I think I'm really going to like this pistol. But other than that...
His proclivity for vests.
Yes. Yes. So...
that was
but believe it or not, he has this kind of plot going on with Kira. You get Paul Bettany, who is actually really good.
Paul Bettany is underused in this movie. Mm-hmm. He is a great villain, and he did not get enough development or screen time. I wanted more of him. More of him, and a lot more of that pirate that they kept saying the name of and showed up twice.
Yeah. Yes. So...
I thought Phasma was unimpressive.
Yeah. I mean, I guess saying this is spoilers, but it's yes, she only showed up twice.
Oh.
Here's the thing. So they had that going on, and you're like, okay, this is actually kind of doing its own thing. It's not getting wrapped up in
I will say it does do its own thing, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's it's not getting wrapped up in, we got to do the Kessel Run. Him getting his pistol was literally you're on the team now. Here, take this gun.
Yeah.
So it was very nonchalant. It was it was not fucking.
It wasn't like the blue milk.
It wasn't like the blue milk, and it wasn't remember Into Darkness when fucking Chekhov had to put on the red shirt.
Oh Lord.
That is they could have done that.
Yeah, pretty much the entire last half of Into Darkness.
Yeah, that is a discussion, completely different discussion, but.
That's a different series.
So yes, or is it? So they're doing that. They're doing this, but it's they don't plan. It's all right. We gotta get a team together. We'll go talk to Lando, and now we're done, and we're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, you're saying that. What are you saying that the Kessel Run was done well?
No. What I'm saying is. That is the biggest bit of fan service,
and it's awful.
And they
just do it.
They acted like it wasn't. Where it's you either have to go all the way, or not do it. So
when he presents the idea of going to Kessel,
this is literally how they I don't know if they that fell off my finger. I don't know if they think people know what the Kessel Run is?
Well,
other than the name? Because this is what happens. They go to Lando. They have this...
you have to start at the beginning. He says, let's go to Kessel. She says, okay, well, we'll need a fast ship. I know a guy. They then go to Lando, and he tries to bamboozle him. It doesn't work. And then she's like, "Oh, we're doing the Kessel Run."
He gets
it's a thing.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. There needed
to be a setup where he's like, oh, we'll go to Kessel. That's impossible. You can't do it. Yeah, I can. Well, you'll need a fast ship. Okay. And then all of a sudden, the Kessel Run is a thing.
And then she goes up to him and says, we need a ship. And they're like, okay. And they're like, why? We're doing the Kessel Run. And it's like, but then when they explain it, they're like, it's this thing, and you can only get through it one way.
And then you can
get through it another way. So what is the Kessel Run?
That one way. I guess that highway is the Kessel Run.
But he did the Kessel Run not through the run.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. So
I know.
The fact that they did, that's what I'm saying. The fact that they didn't tell us what the Kessel Run was, that was the whole point.
No.
We don't know what the Kessel Run is. This is your time to make that a thing. Instead, they acted like we all should know what it is and then didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
or maybe didn't.
And then for all the EU kids, they throw in the Maw at the last second, and it was the Maw pretty much, but it didn't make any sense. So.
Word. So but they kept it. They did the whole it's distance, not time.
Yeah.
They kept that in, so it's fine because they waste a whole lot of fucking time. I gotta tell you.
Oh my god, yeah, 12 parsecs.
But here's the thing: the thing they were carrying was time sensitive.
Yes,
I know time and gaining ground is correlated.
Yeah,
it blew my mind. That was so stupid. I thought it was amazing. I'm like, this is a slap because like it's fan service. That's like a slap in the face.
Well, the fact that the Millennium Falcon,
because if you wanted it, this is so disappointing.
Well, the fact that the Millennium Falcon shows up and within 10 minutes Han turns it into a piece of junk, and then it was just like, oh my god, you guys are trying so fucking hard. Now you're starting to kind of piss me off a little bit. But, like, at that point, I didn't fucking care anymore. So it didn't matter that I was just like, this is so just hitting it on the head, you know? I don't know, dude. Just beat me over the head with a foam bat called Star Wars.
See, that shit didn't piss me off because it was like, they were going to do the Kessel Run, but like shit happened. There was a blockade. They wasted time because
I wouldn't have had a problem with it if the movie didn't end the way it did.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I was just like, I'm like, this is pretty funny that like, he's like, dude, you fucking wrecked my ship. I fucking hate you.
Oh, yeah.
And then he left him there to fucking die.
If they had left it at that?
Yes.
Fine. Great. Nope. He comes back and wins the ship.
Yeah, it was that like that's when they were like one more. That's when they were finally like
one more thing.
Nope, we gotta have this in it. So they had two things.
By that point in time,
things we know they had to do both. They did one as like a clear reshoot at the end, which is like it was basically a post-credit scene.
Yeah,
and then they did fucking the other one, which they just were like,
we gotta do something.
So fucking weird and stupid.
I love
it's so good. It's so good because it's so poorly executed. They had like one job, and if they had done it well, it would have been like, ugh, fucking fan service. What a dumb idea. But at least it was good. It was fun. It's like it was fun, but it was also confusing and aggravating. Which is hilarious.
It's just like, I don't know. I thought the only fight scenes that looked good were the ones with Chewie.
Yeah.
Everything else was really choppy and incompetent.
Here's the fucking thing. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with this movie. I'm not joking about, because I'm not really joking because I do really like how bad it is.
I know.
But in a non-joking matter, it was directed by comedy directors, and it was written by an egomaniac, and it should have been directed by fucking anybody in the world who cares, and written by the comedy fucking writers and directors.
I agree. No,
because that was part of the problem. Is like, you have this script that I think was being taken seriously.
Yeah. By
fucking Kasdan as kid. And it's like, I hate coming down on the guy. I liked Force Awakens a lot.
Well, and Empire.
Empire Strikes Back is one of the best fucking movies ever.
Yeah.
But dude, Like,
it's
the
time
writing,
to let it go.
you're writing Solo a Star Wars story.
Yeah, well, and that was my thing was with the comedy. I don't know if it's the actors or the dialogue. None of it really hits. Like, some of it is like, oh, I see what you did. You get a little chuckle. But, like, the timing is weird. Mm-hmm. And, like nobody seems to be hitting the beat.
Well, that's
right.
the thing. Is like,
the edits are bad.
Well, I was going to say, like, dude, we go into editing. Now we have a different director who was not there when they shot these shots. So it's
and Ron Howard's not exactly known for his comedy.
No. So you have Ron Howard sitting there, probably like, I like that joke. It's funny, but like,
he doesn't know how to cut it. Yeah. He doesn't know.
It's an editor's job.
Well, I mean, but I imagine
he's there. But he's there. Yeah, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
He's doing that. I mean, him and the fucking like Disney team standing there. But that's what's so weird. There are
because I brought up I feel like there's a lot of production oversight in this, and it feels like something that they were like, put that in there.
There's bits that like I'm just like there's meddling, but there's other shit that I can't believe fucking exists. I feel like they would have fucking paid $100 million for reshoot, instead of fucking putting some of the shit out there that was in it. It's
weird. It's
baffling.
See, and that's where it's mediocre to me, because like so many of the scenes that are supposed to be awe-inspiring and spectacles, and, like the first time the Falcon takes off into Lightspeed, they build that scene up like this is supposed to be a dream for Han, and he's finally doing what he wants to do, and it doesn't hit. He's just kind of sitting there with this, like, you get this weird over the shoulder shot of him just kind of like with this weak smile. You should have had that like the first time we ever saw Lightspeed back in Star Wars, and then do a shot from him when they're going through the tunnel of him just like in awe of it. Like, it's just a bad shot,
I guess.
And there's a lot of that in
I was going to say, I guess this is where we differ a bit too, because I was just kind of like, this is not the first time he's seen this.
Probably not, but like this is the first time he's done it in freedom. Like, he made the choice to do this. Yeah. He's not doing it for the Empire or whatever.
Like, he's finally out, and he's like hanging with this guy who's kind of weird and has this terrible robot girlfriend.
Yeah,
and he just like sees it. And they just like hit Lightspeed, and he's just gonna like okay, and I'm like I don't know. Like,
I guess
I bought the character because I never ever once thought about Han
Solo, yeah.
Until the end, because then I'm like, wait a minute, this character that is now just embarking on his life is now going on to be this like world-class smuggler for like a year until he becomes a like general in the...
But see, like, even just from the point of view of this being just a random character who had this dream, I needed... In Firefly, in the episode Out of Gas, when he first sees Serenity, I was hoping for something that subtle and small and so powerful when he sees the Falcon for the first time. And you don't get any... there was no love at first sight. And it's just like, well, he has the Falcon and it's important to him. Yeah. And it seems kind of like, it doesn't matter in the plot line. And I felt like since they tried to make that an important part, they should have put more effort into it.
I respect your opinion, and I somewhat agree with you. What I will say...
but you're also right, dude, because like we talked about it, it's so easy to forget that he's Solo.
Yes, but what I will say is what I enjoyed, and because I know I would have those same criticisms if I didn't have a different perspective on what I kind of want from an offshoot Star Wars story.
You want from less saga.
I was like, nonchalant, this is the world they live in. Mm-hmm. None of this is like, it's not like Luke finally getting off of fucking Tatooine. Yeah. It's not like Rey finally leaving Jakku. It's not like Finn, who's been
I've never seen so much water in the whole world. Yeah.
All that shit. I'm like, this dude, he's been around, and it's like, I would have like, it's contradicting itself in the fact that like, in The Force Awakens, it's like, dude, he loved... Like, even in the original, but like, they nail it home again in Force Awakens. He loves the Falcon. He loves that fucking ship.
That shot in Force Awakens where he's just rubbing the wall and he goes, "We're home," you know, or in Return when Lando's gonna fly it again and he's just like, you know, you need her, but I just. You know, and he's freaking out about giving her. You know, I want you to take her, and he's just like, she won't get a scratch, I promise. And then he's got that shot of him looking out the shuttle window, and he's like, I'm never going to see her again. Yeah. And there's a heartbreaking moment in that, and I wanted his heart to be full when he saw it for the first time.
So we should have had that when you think about that.
I
never thought about that.
I wish I could have separated myself like that but like. It was one of those moments again where I was reminded that this was Han Solo, and it should have been more important than it was, and than it was treated. Yeah, and it just.
So in my mind, he just keeps talking about. But that's the thing. But then at the end, it's like all at once for me, where I'm just like, holy shit, none of this makes any sense.
Well, because like it seems like that's when Harrison Ford showed up on set to coach him, and was like, you got to stand like this, and this is how you shrug, and you give this look a lot. You know, it's just it comes natural, and then he's trying to do it, and you can't do that if you're not Harrison Ford.
Because like I like the fact that he liked the ship and he thought it was dope, but at the same time he just has his own thing. He wants his own ship. He wants to do this. He's like just starting out. I'm like, he'll love that ship in time, but then it ends with like. Well, now this is where he comes in and like...
And Lando says at one point, he's like, she got you, didn't you? And he's like, oh yeah, it's mutual.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, no, it fucking wasn't.
She wants me.
Yeah, I'm like... No, she doesn't.
Yeah, so like, you're right.
Yeah.
But while I was watching it, I didn't think of that. So it worked for me. But I guess if you're just like... Why is this happening? Why is that? I could see being a little bit more down on it.
It was
for me, it also kind of plays into the whole like how bad it is.
Oh yeah,
and how
you're right. Yeah, it's awful,
and I just think it's really funny.
For you find it funny. For me, that was one of the parts where I was just like, this should have been something. You know, it's just and that's where it hits mediocre for me because there's so many big moments that they try to do that they do so badly. I'm glad that you find comedy in it. For me, it doesn't hit that level of like, oh my god, this is awful, and it doesn't hit the area where I'm just like, I'm fucking pissed. You know, it's just kind of like, huh, you know, that's how I feel walking out of the movie. It was just like, huh, you know.
It could never do anything to destroy or even influence the originals for me.
No.
And I had no hopes for it, and I
I gotta be honest. I did go in hoping for like a Ocean's 11 or a Sneakers type of thing, dude.
For sure.
And that's why never did that. And like we were talking about, there's never a scene where they're getting the crew together or making
even coming up with a plan.
Or making a plan. It's just like, this is an idea and we're going to do it. Okay, cool, let's go.
They go out of their way and it's on purpose. There's only one time it makes sense we don't hear a plan. Mm-hmm. And like you hear the beginnings of a plan. But the rest of the time we're like, we need to know the plan, no plan. And then there's a time where we don't need to know the plan for certain switcheroos.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. It's just... Oh, man. And the lack of a real villain. Mm-hmm. And I will say the absence... There's a really good presence of the Empire at the beginning. I liked what they did with Corellia. I thought that was really good.
Bruh, did you not fucking... I was laughing hysterically. Did you not laugh when they had Imperial propaganda video screens playing the Imperial March?
Yeah, that was great.
That shit was hilarious.
I thought it was funny, but like I liked the them patting people down at the spaceport and stuff like that.
But I also love the fact that like they're fucking greasy. Where like the crime syndicate came in and they're just like, we got to get this guy. And they're like, oh, we'll help you out.
Which is ridiculous because like wouldn't they be in direct opposition with the cartel unless that specific cartel was on the take?
But that's the thing. I think they're... Wait. Here's the thing.
We were having this problem earlier where we started overthinking it.
It had an opening crawl without doing an opening crawl.
It did an opening slideshow?
An opening thingy. And, which was good, because Rogue One would have been much better with one
We needed a little bit of,
but I don't know. I get that the crawl is a saga only, but fucking, they talk about that, they're
Carillion.
crime peoples take them in for protection and make them do steal shit.
On Carillion.
So that doesn't make sense that the Empire would help them out, because I was thinking, oh, well, that's what those are the fucking people that are exploiting to build the ships. That's not true.
No.
According to what was happening in that opening crawl.
No, the Empire just controls the planet.
But either way, they came in, and I thought it was funny that there's probably greasy stormtroopers.
Well, and like the thing that kind of was weird to me, and this is where the movie kind of started to make me go, this doesn't make any sense anymore, was when he gets away scot-free.
Yeah.
And then willingly joins the Empire for reasons that don't really add up. I thought he was going to get caught in that situation and get press ganged into joining the Empire.
Yeah.
That's how he, quote unquote, pays for his crimes.
Yeah, there's a couple things where they could do that, but he didn't really like commit crime. They were like
he committed a crime.
He committed a crime, but like not in the context of like who was hunting them down. It was like he was in trouble for fucking over the snake, the worm lady.
Yeah.
And they were coming after him, and like the stormtroopers were just kind of like helping them because there's obviously some shady shit going on.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's like, oh, I'll just get in good with them, and they'll be like, that's our recruit, fuck off. I don't know. You know, they need people, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that situation, like, who did he steal the fuel from? I mean, initially.
Yeah.
Like, so does the Empire have an argument for like, no, he's ours?
That's true. You never know. So like I said, you want to like delve into like the Star Wars.
That's where I wanted to get a little world building.
And I was expecting a lot more of it too. And most of it, they do it, and then it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And like,
well, because they set something up and then immediately contradict it like a half hour later or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking which, let's. So he enlists.
You want to go right into the best joke in the movie?
The best fucking joke. He enlists. He wants to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we just need your name, and I guess that's it.
And he says, my name is Han.
And he's like, okay, what's
your last name?
I don't know if he says last
surname, I think is what he says.
He says something, I think he says something more formal. Like
family name or something like that. Yeah.
Who are your people? And he's like, I got no people. And he's like, Solo.
And the guy looks at him and he's like, alone? Solo. That means alone.
Yeah. It's like it's like the Go-Go 80s guy episode in Futurama where the guy puts the 5 where the S should be, and he's like, well, thank God I've noticed the similar shapes. Like, alone, Solo, Han Solo. Stupid as hell. It's the stupidest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, that wasn't the stupidest thing in the movie.
No, we'll get to that. It's
it's spoilers at some point.
No, I already said that. It would, because I said they're not real, but we're talking spoilers.
Yeah.
Like if it would have been just as bad and dumb if he had said like had come up with a dumb last name and then he's like, no, Solo. Like,
because I'm on my own.
Yeah, it's like,
I only trust me.
Exactly, we get it.
Except for Chewie.
But at least it wouldn't have been like a made up. Like, that's the one thing. Like the made up. It's not just his last name. It's like who he is, but also just some random guy gave him the name.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Because then later on, you find out he had a dad.
Yeah. My dad worked on this shit. It's like, and your dad went by Solo.
Yeah, did your dad have a last name? Huh?
What?
No.
There were not multiple directors on this movie, I swear to gosh.
Everybody has a last name. Your name is Lando Calrissian.
Han Solo.
Han Solo. Ugh, son of a bitch.
So dumb. Well,
there's really not much to say. It's an awful movie. Don't see it.
I mean, I could talk for ages, but I'm gonna jump to my favorite thing that happened.
I recognized it before you did.
You did.
Because
I'm
not bragging about that.
No. But because as dumb as the
you
movie
didn't expect it
was,
to happen.
To this point, I did not expect something this stupid.
See, and the movie had been so stupid to me that I was like, oh, of course. Of course.
And the fact that it means absolutely nothing.
No.
Remember when everybody thought that Snoke was going to be Mace Windu?
Yeah, God.
And then I think Jenny Nicholson made the argument of like, that means nothing.
No.
Why would they ever do that?
No.
This literally has this means nothing. Why did they do that?
It's tying into
Other
the
than
novel.
it's people know something from another thing.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's betrayals and double crosses, and they decide to have another whole subplot at the end of
a secret decoder ring is stolen.
They have a last minute, yeah, exactly. A last minute fucking switcheroo. It's ridiculous.
That you can see coming from the first act.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. She doesn't actually, I don't know. It's weird. So, Kira fucking is like, oh, I'm going to come and run away with you. But she doesn't betray him. She doesn't put him in any danger.
She technically betrays him, but
emotionally. But, so, Kira...
The one I ever loved.
Kira, it was weird because it was kind of like implied like fucking sex trafficking, which was kind of dark.
They didn't know how to hit her character.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, she's just in this crime syndicate and it's like fucking can never get away. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, she totally likes being here.
Yeah. So fucking Paul Bettany dies. They have like a thing.
Jesus, man.
And fucking she's like, oh, we're gonna run away together now. Well, you go get Chewie.
Yeah, you go off on your own, and I will totally be there.
So she takes the decoder ring off of Paul Bettany.
Yeah, she steals Paul Bettany's Cracker Jack box ring.
She holocalls, which I don't know if that's the actual term for it.
That sounds about right to me.
She holocalls a hooded figure.
A hooded figure with a mysteriously robot foot.
Yeah, and he's like, he's dead. I guess,
General Grievous.
I guess I'm going to have to take over. And he's like, oh, shit. And you started laughing, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, well, first,
what stupid tie-in is this?
You get this shot of a robo foot.
See, I wasn't paying attention to the foot.
I just because they showed that hologram and it was in the foreground, so I was paying attention to that because Emilia Clarke's face is not that intoxicating to me, or entrancing. So like I was looking at the foot and I was like, who would have a? Oh no! And then we get this shot, the full shot of said hooded figure with a familiar voice.
Yes.
And then the hood comes off.
Yes.
And behold, Ryan.
It's Darth Maul.
And
why?
I laughed.
Yes. And I went...
and I laughed out loud.
Why?
Because what? Because people like that Darth Maul.
Because he's Darth Maul.
People don't like that Darth Maul.
But here's... Okay.
So, and we just unceremoniously murdered him and then brought in a terrible villain. And then when that one didn't work, we tried to bring in a new one.
He busts out his double-sided lightsaber.
For no reason.
For no reason. Says, well... I guess we're going to be working...
I think it's supposed to be threatening.
I guess.
But it was mostly just to be like, look at double-sided lightsaber.
And we're going to be working together a whole lot more. And then she fucking takes off to go hang out with Darth Maul. Okay. Stupid as hell. It's literally just, remember the prequels? And then... That's it. And then if you start thinking about it gets even worse.
What did you say about his lightsaber? It's just like, in case anybody doesn't know who that face is.
Dude, seriously, I swear to God, he pulled out the lightsaber just in case people didn't get it at first.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a different saber, but it's also double bladed.
That guy looks familiar. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look like a guy with a painted face and prosthetics. He's completely CGI, which is weird.
Yeah, he's no longer Ray Park, but he's still voiced by Ray Park.
Yes. I guess Ray Park's older. I don't know. So
and maybe they CGI'd him because it was a holo call.
Because it was a hologram, but like...
no, I'm with you.
So that was weird, but yeah, then he's like, he took out the lightsaber because like, oh, no, it's not another one of those guys. It is Darth Maul.
It's just, it is, hi guys, it's me.
But like, he literally is just talking to her, fucking force grabs his lightsaber, turns it on, says, "Hey, meet me here later," and then turns it off, and then the call goes off.
Yeah.
So it's the stupidest thing in the fucking world. And then if you think about it, it gets even worse. Because it's a tie-in for nothing. It's a prequel.
Well, there's going to be a novel, Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, this means nothing.
No.
Oh, who was the secret bad guy who Han Solo's girlfriend ran off to? Darth Maul. Oh, wow. What a twist. What are we going to do with that? Nothing.
No, you're never going to see Darth Maul again.
They'll have a comic
if you
series.
See, oh, God. You know what I just realized, Ryan? They want to do Obi-Wan next. Yeah. That's the one they're pushing for.
That's going to tie in with Solo, a Star Wars story?
I'm saying that's where Maul's going to come back. We're going to have a showdown again between Obi-Wan, who won't be Ewan McGregor. Because why? We don't really care all that much, you know. All of us that loved Ewan McGregor as the only good part of the prequels.
Yeah. Not the only good part. You forget about Dexter Jetster.
Hey, I'm here with the Italian stereotypes. How's it going?
It's from those cloners.
It's from them cloners over there on Camino. You want I give you a cheeseburger? God, he was terrible.
Anyway, but then I thought about it some more, and I'm like,
no, see, because that thing just dawned on me right now, dude. Where I'm just like, oh,
I know you're probably right,
God.
but I seriously still doubt.
You could be right. It's just going to tie into.
But then I'm like, wait a minute. So he survived.
Yes.
And now he's the leader of a crime syndicate.
Is he still a Sith Lord?
But he's still using the Force and all that shit, which why wouldn't you? But it's like, is he a Sith? Just rogue? Is he planning revenge on the Emperor? Is he just kind of like on his grind? Is he still a Sith Lord?
Out there making that paper?
Is he pissed off that like Vader took over his sweet apprentice spot, came with benefits like 401k? I don't like... Imperial rule.
He needed dental coverage. I remember his teeth.
So, and then that's what pisses me off, because then I started thinking like, wow, Maul's back. I wonder what kind of...
No, it was funny because I watched it happen. You were talking so much shit. You're like, it doesn't even make sense. But now, wait a minute.
I wonder how everything's working. There's three. There can only be two for no reason.
Yeah, for rules that we made up on Wikipedia.
Yeah. There's three of them. I wonder what he's up to. And then I'm like, no, they got me. The stupidest thing they could have done, and they got me thinking. They didn't get me like much after the fact. A guy in the theater went out. He's like, man. And this is literally how he was talking.
Yeah, I heard that guy.
I'm just trying to take it all in.
I'm trying to parse it, dude.
They brought back a key character.
So what does that mean?
And I was like, key character? The guy who died?
He was cannon fodder.
In the movie that you could not watch and still understand the whole prequel arc?
But then how would you know why he hated sand people so much?
That would be the old... No, because that's in the second one. Literally. And then he meets fucking racist junk owner again, and he like reiterates like, oh, you've come a long way since being a slave. Hey, I sold your mom to this guy. So boom, don't need to watch it from that.
No, you're right.
Episode 1 doesn't mean shit.
No, it doesn't.
So,
but how would you know who Qui-Gon is at the end of Revenge of the Sith? I got you, Ryan. You're within my grasp.
But you don't know who Sypha Dyas is, and you're fine there.
I'm not fine with that.
Apparently he was a real dude.
Apparently he was a real dude. He wasn't just a ruse.
Yeah, I guess he showed up in clothes, which isn't canon, so I don't even know. Fuck it, whatever. So yeah, Maul didn't have spider legs.
I don't know what's canon and what isn't anymore.
It's pretty simple. Almost nothing is canon. It's pretty simple.
See, and that's what I think sucks, is they just... And it's to their detriment. They just trashed everything.
Just to bring it back, just so they have control. But like they're going
just
to
to try
most
it
of
again.
it back,
yeah.
just so they have ideas.
And it's odd because they bring it back in strange ways, like with this Maul thing.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they do with Thrawn is a little weird.
Yeah.
It's all. I don't. It's they were just like now. And I understand why getting rid of everything post Jedi. You could do that. I'd be upset because you lose Thrawn and Mara and everybody. But the prequel-y bits, you could have left.
Cares? Yeah, it means nothing.
Yeah, you could have left the Old Republic stuff. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
The new Old Republic.
The reason I'm really excited about this stupid movie is, like, this is kind of opening the door. Like, right now, Disney is just in the fucking, fucking...
It's all got to be a part of everything.
Control. They have a grip on it. Like, it's got to be, and like, this movie is
it's all going to tie into the movies.
It's like, listen here, this shit's off the rails already. Like,
oh yeah.
If you're going to be making all these random films, like, they're going to be dumb. This is the stupidest shit.
Yeah,
like,
just make up random characters. People will be fine with it.
Like, we're going to get a flood of nonsense. And, like, I didn't live through the EU shit.
No, you didn't.
I was like, I've watched the 6 films, and that is Star
Wars.
Wars.
When I first met you, you would make fun of me constantly because I would bring up the EU when we would talk about Star Wars. You're like, nobody fucking cares about it. And I was like, everybody cares about it, man.
So I'm ready to live through some schlock.
It's just
like I was telling you,
it's funny, dude, because like
I'm willing to see some bad ones.
Everybody's always saying like the nostalgia nerds are holding it back, and it's like, no, the nostalgia nerds are mostly open-minded. We want different stuff.
Yeah,
you're not doing it right.
Like I was telling you, I'm not tired of seeing Star Wars yet. This is the 10th Star Wars movie. 9th?
No.
10th.
10th, yeah, 10th. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I had to do the math, and I'm bad at math.
And in like what 40 years,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, they took their time.
So it's like I've watched 18 Marvel movies
just
in 10 years.
The complaint that I have about this is like they've just thrown their gaming market in the toilet, and they've just scrapped all the novels and are just like, oh, they have to tie into things that we've already done.
I feel like this is the first step. All of this makes no sense. your tight grip fucking story group canon shit is so done.
Pretty soon we're gonna get them disregarding all the offshoots as canon, like they did with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix shows for Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a live action show coming from what's his face? John Favreau.
John Favreau, yeah. On the Disney streaming service.
They're like,
right?
Ryan Johnson, yeah. They're like, Ryan Johnson's making 3 more movies. I was like, oh, okay, wow. They're signed on for 3, and they're like, okay, and these guys are also making 3 more movies. I was like, whoa, guys, you're announcing 6 movies. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know. This is like I'm like, all right, I feel like we're starting to get the ball rolling, and I'm like, oh, wow, we got the bad one out of the way.
You said the same thing about Rogue One.
That was a very disappointing movie. No, what I said was, they're not all going to be good. We're going to get a shit ton of them, so, like, I'll give it a pass. But the second movie they made was, like, so bad. I was pissed.
Really bad.
They can correct course now, I think.
Yeah.
Although I think I heard that like they are going through with the Boba Fett thing, so that's dumb.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is he going to be Australian still?
I think they're going to have the kid who was like, Dad,
I'm going out for road beers and smokes. There's some fucking guy here with a beard and a bathrobe.
Yeah, right. They're going to get, I don't know, Hugh Jackman.
Jermaine Clement.
That'd be dope.
Or, oh God. Who's the other Flight of the Conchords guy?
Brit.
Yeah, Brit.
Or are we talking about Reese Darby?
Yeah, sure. They'll get Reese Darby. That's funnier than either of the other 2 that I proposed.
Oh, man. So,
We're not bounty hunters.
Yeah, in conclusion, Last Jedi, thought of that fucking movie all the time. Opinions start changing. My head gets all bottled up like in a bottle. It's mind bottling. If you've seen Blades of Glory, it's good. This movie, it's just...
No, it isn't.
I know, it's not. It's really bad. This movie, it's just so bad and stupid. And I kind of revel in it because, like...
I'm glad that you could do that.
I'm just like, dude, it's been a while. We haven't been able to, like... It's always been this serious fucking discussion. Yeah. Star Wars is so fucking serious. And God, The Last Jedi is the worst goddamn movie I've ever seen. You're the worst. It's doing new shit. Fucking blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, this shit is like... Have you seen the prequels? That shit is so stupid.
No, Rogue One's the greatest movie ever made. Yeah. Way better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And fucking...
No, I get you, dude. Everybody's so serious about Star Wars all the time, dude. And I like what you're saying.
I dare people to take this one seriously and, like, have a conversation where, like, when Lando had sex with his robot... That was like a big fucking deal. When the Gonk droid joined the rebellion, the droid rebellion, not to be confused with the rebellion, and started gonking on the fucking control panels, that was a big moment for me.
Okay, that scene cracks me up for one reason. You want to know why? Because when they first go in that control room, it's the typical...
There was no droids.
One, there was no droids. And two, when the droids suddenly appeared... It was all the typical new Star Wars. We made a bunch of new shit. And then in the next shot, there was R2 units all over the place.
Yeah.
It was an R2 and an R4.
And there was a Gonk.
And there was a Gonk.
But they did have a Gonk in Force Awakens.
Yeah, but in Force Awakens, which is arguably the only one that tried a bit to show you things you'd already seen. I will say in this one, there was a couple aliens that surprised me for being there. One of Dryden, was that his name? Bettany's villain name? He has a Bothan working for him.
Yeah.
His lead guard, I think, is a Bothan.
Yeah.
And then there's this random shot of a Twi'lek that looks like they just threw some hoses on a person real quick and said, "You're a Twi'lek!"
Yeah.
And then the Rodian that comes out of nowhere cracks me up because you have that whole big unmasking of all the pirates. And then the Rodian was not there. And then real quick at the end, you see a Rodian take down a guy. I am also here.
Yeah, but they had whoever the fuck whatever race Plo
there was a Plo Koon was, there was a Plo Koon. But no, that scene cracked me up because one, like you said, no droids. Then there were droids. But they were all new, we made these up today droids, and then all of a sudden there were R2 units everywhere.
I could see people being annoyed with L3, and I agree.
Oh God, I wasn't even going to get into that because I didn't care.
Yeah, and I agree that it's somewhat annoying, especially at first because it's like somewhat serious.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to take her seriously.
It's like droid lives matter, and it's like kind of cringy.
It's pretty bad.
And then it's like, all right, I got a job to do. Oh, I'm going to take this restraining ball off this droid. Ugh, so gross putting restraining bolts. All right, get out of my fucking way. I got to do this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go free your friends. I don't fucking care. And then, like, goes and frees all the other droids. And they're like, Droid Rebellion. And I was like, this is actually hilarious.
I found my calling. Yeah, that part was pretty funny. I was still glad what happened. But, yeah.
And
Jesus, it did not get me at all. I thought that was one of the worst scenes in the movie.
No, I guess I should just say, the reason it did, is Donald Glover fucking knocked it out of the park.
Donald Glover did a good job. I enjoyed him. Also underused.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Lando. Should have been more Lando.
I really liked that, like, all the cards are on Lando's side. I'm such a bad... And then they just, like, slowly find out that, like, motherfucker, you need us just as much... You stupid ass.
That was great.
No, he just plays it like he's the coolest dude ever. But like his ship's impounded.
His ship's when they walked up to that gate, he's like, I keep it locked up to keep it safe. And I was like, you're so full of shit. They impounded your ship. And they walk in and there's a boot on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. That was great. It was interesting to hear him struggle with being Billy D, because he does a lot of shit that's like spot on Billy D, and then he becomes Donald Glover again in a couple spots. It's like the attitude kind of slipped in a couple spaces, and it's almost like but I thought it was interesting because it was almost like the Lando that we see in the previous movies is a persona that Lando puts on. And then when we see Donald Glover come through in his Lando performance, it's almost like you're seeing the actual Lando, at parts. So you're seeing young Lando who hasn't come fully into smooth operator. What are we at here? Oh, I must have told him about my little maneuver at the Battle of Tenaire. General. Billy D.
So he was good. Fuck it.
I enjoyed Donald Glover. Donald Glover and Paul Bettany were the standout performances for me.
Paul Bettany.
Dude, Paul Bettany's good in just about everything. I liked him in Priest. That was a terrible fucking movie. I liked him in Legion. That was another terrible fucking movie.
Let's not forget.
The greatest movie he ever made? Yeah. Wimbledon. Yeah, great movie.
Super good. Except
for Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, well.
Who's enjoyable in other things, just not in that movie. No, dude, I just, they didn't use their villain enough.
Yeah.
And who was confusing. A good villain. Yeah, well, because you're set up to think that this one person's going to be the villain, and it doesn't matter. And then you set up to think that this guy is going to be the threat the whole time.
But also struggling with the theme of we're the bad guys, but he's good at heart. So that makes it confusing.
Oh, really? See, I didn't think he was good at heart at all.
Who are we talking about?
I'm talking about Paul Bettany.
Oh, no. I'm saying when we're talking about who the villain is, but also our main characters are the bad guys.
Yeah.
With a heart of gold. Except for that... The fact it's not Han Solo, like, at all.
It's not Han Solo.
For not reasons of, like, not nailing the persona, or it's like, it doesn't feel like the character. I don't care about any of that shit. It literally makes no sense that he now feels this way at this point.
Yeah, he jumps around all the time. And I think it's supposed to look like character evolution, and it never feels like character evolution. Yeah. And like you said at the beginning, he's just him now. He becomes Harrison Ford suddenly. And like I said,
who's been like living the life despite having like one job.
Yeah, he did one thing and is now like, I'm a seasoned veteran. Well, like, he tells her with this childish glee, which is always like, you're acting like a 10-year-old. Or he's like, I'm an outlaw.
That's weird. But also, I guess I do like the joke of like, what's up, dude? Did the cuss run 12 parsecs, no big deal. And then Chewie's just like, and he's like, well, if you round down.
You gotta round down, buddy.
It wasn't even 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
Greasy asshole. But I'm like, but also he just helps anybody who goes, I'm a good guy. And he's like, well, fuck, I guess I got it.
Yeah, oh, well, if you're a good guy, I have a heart of gold.
I really want to, I'll go with you. I want to meet this gangster and do gangster jobs.
I'm a bad person. Yeah. He says
this like out loud.
I am a terrible person, he says.
And then they're like, hey,
we're like super poor, and we're like enslaved, and we need this stuff.
I gotta help you. I'm just like, help him. You get it? Do you get who Han Solo is?
Anybody with a sob story, he's gonna help out.
Also, he gets offered to join the rebellion like a lot. He's not really good at turning it down.
Because he's a terrible person. I'm not the good guy. I'm a terrible person. These are lines from the movie.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Mighty Fish Pod. We're Mighty Fish Productions on YouTube. You can find us on all major podcasting apps.
Send us an email if you hate or love us.
MightyFishPodcast at gmail.com. Make sure to leave a comment on this fucking video / whatever the hell.
Rate and review us on iTunes.
Yeah, that actually helps a lot. Send us a tweet, email, whatever. We thank you very much for listening. This has been great. This has been actually really fun.
It's been good.
I am Ryan.
I'm still Josh.
And we will catch you On the next...
Flippy floppy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.